good evening, everyone. Let me know if y'all can hear me.
Yes, and hello, you look pretty.
Hey, Tanisha.
Hey.
Thank you.
Yes, I can hear you. Hey, Belinda.
Hi there. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing very well. They said if you're not early, you late. So you guys are in a good time, right? I'm glad it warmed up a little bit. Because yesterday was, ooh, baby, it was almost like Frosty the Snowman type of weather.
Yeah, it was brutal yesterday. A different kind of cold.
Right? Yes. Oh my goodness. So how has everyone's day been today?
It's been a good day. It's been
Good
productive.
day so far.
Yes.
Good, good.
Good day.
I'm a few more minutes. I'm gonna try to get started around 6:33. Um, that should give enough people time to chime in. Good evening, good evening. Hi, Erica. So, who would like to share with everyone what our housekeeping and how we actually normally get things started in the chat? If you're usually in attendance, you know exactly what we normally do. What is that? Come on now. I know you guys know.
What was your question?
You want what?
What do we normally do when it comes to everyone knowing who's who in the room when it comes to the chat?
We usually put our county and our oh my gosh. I'm having a senior moment. We usually put our county and our state. No. Oh, I'm having a senior moment. City.
Yes, 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 yes. No, give yourself grace. Okay, you're the only one who
Yes.
actually spoke up.
Yes. And look, my picture is stuck.
I see that. Oh goodness, but your voice isn't, so that's good. All right, guys. So this is a time that you can actually show your camera because you're around your peers. It's just like if you was at a social event. We don't have masks on. We're not covered up, right? So again, let us see your beautiful faces so we can actually match the voice with the face and the name. That helps us really get acquainted when it comes to just being here in this space where it's a safe space for us to actually collaborate and just learn some things and just enjoy the time that we have because we have so much that we can definitely be grateful for, as well as know that we're in a good position when it comes to if we're taking our position serious. So it is 6:34. I'm gonna go over the presentation, and once I end the presentation, then we can go to um, the audience so we can actually go over any questions, answers, or comments that you want to bring to the table that can help others in this capacity when we're learning together. Okay, so let me share my screen. So today I actually covered many things in our chat, or I should say in the Facebook group, um, that led to exactly what we're going to cover in this meeting. So again, welcome. We're going to strip away the social media hype. You've seen the videos promising easy money and passive income with a rubber stamp. Now, today we talk about the reality of being a state commissioned official. I'm trying to still help others come in the room. So, when it comes to the myth versus the reality beyond the side hustle, and I really do hate hearing people use that term when it comes to how they view this position before they become a notary because it's not a side hustle. It's so far from it. So just stamping and signing for a quick fee is the myth, all right? Because there's so much more, again, when it comes to our responsibilities. And then you have the reality that acting as a fiduciary of the public trust is what and who we are, all right? And then when it comes to weighing it all together, you are the legal deterrent against identity theft and white collar crime. We have so much of that happening every second of the day. It's really scary. And again, it's not just here, it's nationwide. So it's US based, it's the worldwide. All of these things, again, when it comes to what we have the ability to do, is very vital and important. A notary is not a vending machine, okay? We don't just sell stamps. We don't just provide identity verification and witness intent. If you're in this just for the fast money, you're ignoring the legal liability attached to every single seal. So the word of the day, if you did see anything posted in the Facebook group today, was fiduciary. All right, it's the highest standard of care, and what it actually means is in Latin is fiducia, a person legally and ethically bound to act in the absolute best interest of the public and the law. Okay, that's what fiduciary means. And then when it comes to our key responsibilities, we are when it comes to impartiality, we should have no self-dealing or bias when we're actually working with the public. We should do our diligence, and that means we should actually check IDs, not just taking someone's word. We want to make sure we're doing exactly what we're held to the standard of doing, and we have sworn under oath to actually do this as well. So again, you want to make sure that you are taking in consideration everything that you swore under an oath to be commissioned, doing the right thing even when no one is watching. That is integrity. And so when it comes to the term fiduciary, is critical. It means you hold a special confidence. When a court looks at a document you notarize, they aren't looking at the signer, they are looking at your word and the process, excuse me, the word that the process was handled legally. And many times, if you're in court and you are the notary that have to actually give testimony against someone that they're questioning, they're going to actually usually hold our word at a high standard. So as long as you are being very diligent with your note taking, you are in a good place of just doing exactly what they're needing has been able to address exactly what all happened while in your presence when it came to the notarization at hand that they are actually inquiring about. And so, when it comes to the high cost of playing around, when humor meets the law, you are personally liable for errors beyond just errors and omissions. That is, again, that insurance might cover. So I know I go over the details of exactly what type of insurances you should have beyond errors and omissions, depending on what additional things you're doing as far as responsibilities that you're actually working in. So as a signing agent, there's so much more involved when it comes to responsibilities, when you're actually having assignments coming from a third party that's giving you more responsibilities other than just meeting someone, identi- properly identifying them, and notarizing their documents. So again, there's a lot more that's involved, and you just want to make sure that you're covering all of your bases. When it comes to criminal risk, aiding in mortgage fraud or forged deeds can lead to felony charges. About 2 weeks ago, we covered about a story of a 73-year-old senior citizen that was a notary public that did not allow or better yet, to notarize a document without the personally appearing before her. And she was a notary for over 31 years, and she was in detention during that time that we covered the story. I have not had a chance to actually look into seeing exactly where things are now, but again, it's not good at all because there was a whole lot of forgery and fraud happening, and she was a part of it, unfortunately. So again, it doesn't matter if you are a notary that's within your first term. You could be a notary within 4 terms plus. The law does not bend. It is very, very clear. We need to follow the general statutes and the administrative code and our fiduciary duties when it comes to the public. So as long as you're actually doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing, you should be fine. Then when it comes to your reputational risk, losing your commission is a permanent mark on your professional record. Do not allow this to happen to you because you're following somebody else that may not know the law that you should know because you have all of the resources disposed to you that you need to take the time to just study. Okay, you have a manual. You all should have this book that you can refer to. Again, mine has been very, very used. So I'm looking forward to the new manual. So I can use that very thoroughly too, right? So again, this is something that can help you when it comes to just things that you're not sure about. Just remember, this is not a joking matter. One favors for friends. Notarization can lead to lawsuit and last year's. This okay, in this business, the oops doesn't exist, all right? Only compliance or liability because when you go to court, ignorance is not an excuse. So you really want to make sure you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing when it comes to just being thorough. If you're not sure, stop, ask questions, call the Secretary of State, call me, call your instructor that you actually went through the class with to try to get more insight. Don't feel like you just have to just do it because you want to wing it and you don't want to actually feel that you're not doing a good job for your customer. You're doing a bad job if you don't ask the questions and something goes wrong. Okay. So again, it's okay to ask questions. No question is a dumb question, especially when you're dealing with someone's livelihood and legalities on a document. When it comes to notary as the human firewall, that's who we are. While your role matters now more than ever, when it comes to fraud prevention, you are the last line of defense in property transfers. If you ever have heard Secretary of State Elaine Marshall speak, she says this almost every time when she actually refers to us as notaries of what our due diligence is and our responsibilities. When it comes to protecting the vulnerable, we should be ensuring the elderly are not being coerced into signing away assets. We should also, when it comes to legal validity, without you, the gears of the legal and real estate system stop turning. In an era of AI and deepfakes, the physical presence of a notary is the human firewall. We are the gatekeepers of truth in a world full of document manipulation. So when it comes to the integrity overcome or over income, all right, integrity over income, you want to actually always make sure you're putting the law first before what your compensation should be. Because if you came into this position for just the money, I would encourage you to go ahead and remove yourself as a notary, because you're actually putting other people at risk, because you are not aligning your responsibilities in the right way when it comes to exactly what we are supposed to be in this position for. Again, as a public official, we have a lot of responsibilities. We want to respect the seal, protect the public, and honor the oath that we swore to. So I would encourage you to just join us weekly for more deep dives into notary compliance and ethics. So that way you can actually have a place on a weekly basis to get the information that can help you along your journey. It's hard to find something that is state specific to North Carolina. And this is one of the reasons why I enjoy doing what I'm doing. I'm constantly researching, I'm constantly creating, because I really want to make sure that the notary community here in North Carolina has the best support possible. I am the president of the North Carolina Notary Association. If you're not familiar with the association, you can go to ncnotary.org, and please do see a little bit more about what we do. We have an organization that, again, we're all about promoting, educating, and making sure that we're advocating for our notaries here in North Carolina. You can be a part of the whole. Each one teach one, and teamwork makes the dream work. We all want to make sure that you guys can be successful in all that we have the responsibilities to do, because the public need us. You guys are that important. Again, there's a lot of things that cannot move forward without a notary being a part of the transaction. And so that's why, again, we're essential, just like EMS workers, just like the police department. It's something that is a need more so than a want when it comes to, it's not all the glamour when it comes to what other job opportunities may look like. But we are totally in a position that is unique to what we have the ability to do, just like the military. I'm prior Army veteran. And so when it comes to protecting and serving, this is another way of doing that on this level when it comes to just paying attention to who's before you and the documents thereof. So when it comes to, if you want a career that demands respect, you must first respect the position. Don't play with your commission, guard it. Are there any questions on how to transition from a stamper to a professional? Again, it all depends on your mindset. And many times we may not be in the right mindset to do this, but it doesn't change the fact that you can become more mindful and understanding to actually help yourself, help others in the best capacity that you have the ability to do. Don't be surprised if you ever get a phone call from me um, recognizing your notary anniversary, because it's a big deal. I know there's other people that probably haven't even thought about it. And many times when I call notaries, they're like, oh my goodness, it is? Because they themselves are not taking the time to even think about how important that position is. You went through a class, you got your commission, it's a big deal. So I believe in making sure I celebrate you. If I have your information, I want to make sure that I acknowledge your special day and encourage you to celebrate yourself, because again, we have a whole day named for us, the National Notary Public Day, November the 7th. So when it comes to just knowing that we have such a huge honor for a day. We don't have, the police doesn't have their own day, but we do. You know what I mean? So when you think about all of those things, even attorneys don't have that recognition. So please make sure you understand how important you are, because it matters when it comes to you taking time to just embrace who you are at the core, because it's that important when it comes to who we are and what we do. So I am going to now open the floor to those that would like to actually speak, because again, this is about all of us and not just one person alone. So I would love to hear any comments, questions that you may have, so we can actually go over those things. Because again, you actually understanding what your job is important. And I want you to make sure that you actually take the time to, again, acknowledge who you are at the core of a public official in the capacity of what we hold very near and dear to my heart, and me wanting to help you stay safe and honest while you're actually doing your job. All right. So again, you can raise your hand. The raise hand is at the top, between the speaker and the view. Amethea, yes, you're up. You got to remove yourself on mute.
All right. So I set up an account on the North Carolina Notary Association website to begin the process of becoming a member. And I did that on December 5th. And as I understand it, I have to be, air quote, verified that I'm a notary and that my notary commission is in good standing. As of today, I have not received any communication about that, and I didn't realize that until today. So
I'm on it, Belinda.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, well, that's my question.
So yes, there are certain things because of our schedules. Let me just kind of give you some background of the association. It was established in 1999. And when it comes to where we are now, we have come a long way with all the things that we have implemented over time. We have a wonderful, wonderful team. Those that really do again care about making sure we can keep notaries educated. We can advocate for you as well as educate you, because without the education, you are going to make a lot of mistakes. And without you taking the time to pay attention to actually go through that information to make sure you're practicing it, again, errors are made even when you're doing the best you can in studying. I make mistakes. Again, we're human, all right? There's no such thing as being perfect in anything. That's just not happening. But you can be very excellent in things that you do because we have the ability to actually improve upon what we do if we actually practicing on a regular basis. Consistency is key. So when it comes to anyone that is actually filling out information to be a part of the membership for the North Carolina Notary Association, our team has to schedule time to actually look over the information, to actually do their due diligence to make sure everybody is actively a notary in good standing. So it won't happen instantly because of the fact that we all have work to do. And this is a volunteer position to work on the board. As a committee chair, all of those are volunteer time for all those that actually see a bigger benefit for just taking the time to be a part of something that is bigger than us. So thank you for actually sharing that. So I can actually highlight that for anyone else that has not become a member yet. Just give it about a week after you actually sign up to actually get a response of your membership status. Okay. And then after a week, if you don't see anything, you can feel free to email members at ncnotary.org. Okay, that's members at ncnotary.org. And that way, the team will be able to look your information up and try to get back to you quicker because you brought it to their attention. So I appreciate Angela putting that up. And this is the actual email that you can copy and actually put it in your contacts, so that way you can easily get to it whenever you want to reach out to us. Okay. Now I do have my direct email, which is president at ncnotary.org. So if you want to talk to me directly through the association, that's the email. Otherwise, when it comes to me as the NC Notary coach for North Carolina, you can just email me at that email address, which is ncnotarycoach@gmail.com. Any other comments? We have some time ahead of us, guys. So come on, let's have some conversation. All right, let me share this with you guys. Yes, Tina.
Belinda, do you want to talk about the mistake that I made and had to correct? And just someone mentioned to me at the class this past weekend, that they, you know, how it seems like everything is always going good, right, for notaries, that they don't make mistakes. But I just want to say that even as a seasoned notary, you can and probably will make a mistake.
Yes.
Fortunately, the one that I made could be corrected, but I just want to know that, just let everybody know that you continue to take your classes. Like we're always told, to always be learning. Take our time and look at things thoroughly, right? Um, but Belinda can tell you the rest.
All right, so I'll summarize it. So Tina was assisting a client for a MVR-191 form, which is a certificate of title. They were selling the vehicle. And when it comes to the sellers on the actual title, it showed in the front there were two people that was actually sellers. Unfortunately, at the time, when she actually notarized the document, it was only for one seller that appeared before her. The seller that appeared before her name was on the document. However, the second person wasn't there. Later, it was learned that they had a power of attorney on their behalf to actually handle their affairs. And without the other person actually signing off, of course, it's an invalid transfer. So when the person went to go to the DMV, the buyer at this point, they were rejected because it was an incomplete title without the second person notarizing it. Now, it can be easily missed because if you're not really understanding how to read the front of the title, there are two areas that has names and an address. You have the one that says mail to, that's at the top, and then you have owner that is a little bit spaced down with that information. And I think Tina looked at just the mail to, which was just one person's name. Am I right or wrong, Tina?
Correct.
Okay. So her seeing this, that's what she thought was good because the gentleman was in front of her. So she had no question about looking at his ID, properly identifying him at this point to make sure everything matched and he looked like the person on the ID. But because again, the secondary person was not there, she had to do a correction. And when you're dealing with an affidavit of correction, this is something that the DMV is now sending through the buyer to let them know, well, we can't move forward. You're going to have to go back to the notary and have her fill out why it was an error and how it needs to be corrected because they want to make sure there's no fraud going on. So, in order for him to really actually transfer title, he had to now get back in touch with the seller. All right. They were in different cities. So, to actually have a time that she could actually coordinate for them both to actually be at the same place. One was, I think, in Charlotte, the other one was in what other town?
Fayetteville.
Fayetteville. Okay. And we're in Raleigh. Okay. So Tina is in Knightdale, Raleigh area, and the other two gentlemen were actually in Charlotte and Fayetteville. Nowhere close to each other. It's like a triangle. Okay. When you think about the distance. And so thankfully the PO8 of the person that was not visible at the time of it being notarized initially, he was able to come on behalf of, again, the fact that he had to be present for this part to actually be fully executed. She had to explain what occurred on the affidavit of correction and then have it notarized herself by another notary. When it comes to the signer, they had to, or the seller, they too had to actually write down what occurred or be able to correct the name. So when you're dealing with a POA situation, or it's also called attorney in fact, you have, it's not our job to actually ask questions of proof of their position. We just got to make sure they write this information out, because it's very clear that person that is the power of attorney is not the principal when it comes to the names. But we are going to record this information in our journal if you are diligent in keeping up with your records. Okay, I encourage you to always, in best practices, to record every transaction you do when it comes to anyone you're notarizing for. This is the only way that we can actually have proof that someone was before us and we properly identified them to actually notarize whatever document that was before us. Okay, that's very important. So when it came to the end result, they both were able to state what the problem was and how it was corrected, and have it both notarized. Now, during this affidavit of correction, they had to swear under oath or an affirmation, because it was not an acknowledgement at this point. The title is an acknowledgement, but because of the problem of how it was not correctly notarized, now the DMV has to cover all issues possibly to make sure that they're swearing that this information is true and nothing but the truth, if they have to go to court, because that's perjuring itself, whether you're in the court of law or out of the court of law when you're presenting in front of a notary. It's that important, and it's that deep when it comes to the seriousness of it all. So thankfully, because they were able to make those corrections on the affidavit, the gentleman who was the buyer was able to finally transfer the title. But it could have been a bigger problem, because again, it's not easy to coordinate people to meet, especially in different cities. But when it comes to just learning, you're not going to learn this in the commissioning class. There's too many documents for instructor to go over. They just need to make sure you understand the three major notarial acts, which is an acknowledgement, which is also your jurat, oath or an affirmation, and then your proof, your verification of proof as the third. All right. So when you understand what those look like, then you can actually understand how to apply exactly what you was taught in the class to any document that comes before you, as long as all of the verbiage is within the context of the certificate. And again, this book is a life guard. Okay, so you want to make sure you hold on to this. You look at where this information is at. The oath, the affirmation is all in here. So you want to make sure you're administering those things when it's a direct every single time. They must raise their right hand, and you must be able to read so they can say I do to agree in order for you to move forward with that process. So again, once you understand exactly what you are expected to do, you can help people stay accountable, as well as honest when it comes to what our fiduciary responsibilities are in this capacity. Ms. Vicky, you have your hand raised.
Affidavit of correction may have been specific to her DMV office. My local one has one called no fraud intended, that is an acknowledgement and not an affidavit. That just has fill in the blank of what went wrong. So it is different by which DMV office you go to. A question for Tina. Was this a DMV POA or a financial POA the person has? Because there is actually a DMV POA only.
It was a POA that the person had.
So a regular financial.
Okay, so actually it was just a full power of attorney.
Okay. Okay.
The person was not in the country either.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's
Now,
the problem.
yeah. Now my question for Belinda is, how does the person sign where they sign, and what does the notary put in for the POA, and do they do it the same way if it's the DMV POA or the financial power of attorney that she's referring to? Because they are two different POAs. So how do they, you have John Smith and you have Bill Brown, who is the POA for whoever. How do they sign it?
So it doesn't matter what type of power of attorney it is. If the person is acting as a power of attorney, when they sign their name, they will have to say for principal's name, by, and then their name as power of attorney or attorney in fact. Or they could put their name, power of attorney for the principal signer's name afterwards.
So, and we put the same thing on our, in the notary section where it says that personally appeared before me, we do this, we just repeat the same thing they said?
When the person is before us, we're going to actually have them, we're going to write down who was before us, and then we can state that they say they're the power of attorney, because we don't have proof and that's not our job. We're just going to actually write down what they say based on whose name is on the document that is the principal signer that isn't before us. So we are going to actually make sure we cover ourselves based on the identification that we actually did identify properly the person before us when we recorded information in our journal.
No, I was just asking the exact wording that the notary says. So I certify the following people appeared before me. So I say John and then so-and-so who was POA. So we have to say both of them. Okay.
Yeah.
So Belinda, the person did not have to present the POA to me?
No.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
No,
And
but
also,
so let me tell you when they do. When it comes to where it has to go, they may have to see it on file that they are power of attorney of that person. So that's the DMV that's going to ask for it. Usually when someone's actually going to a bank and they're actually a POA for someone, they have to show that document to the bank so the bank can actually have everything on their end to cover before they release money to a third party that is not on the account. So that's the reason why when it comes to where that document is important to have is when they're doing the business. But as a notary public, remember our job is just to properly identify someone. We're not privy to what the contents say in the document. So therefore we are not one to question their position. It's similar to if someone actually is working for a business as a CEO, or any position that they have the right, they say, to sign off on certain dealings for the company. Well, we're just taking their word for it, but at the same time, we're going to properly identify them. And when it comes to them saying their position is, that document usually have where they need to put their title. And when it comes to their title, they're responsible for anything that happens after they leave our presence, because we cannot police anyone when it comes to a title that they say they are for another.
and
Did
then
that
the
answer
other
your
part
question?
was, yep, thank you. The other part was, I was trying to find that verbiage of how to sign the POA's name in the book. And I thought it was in there, but I could not find it.
I know it is in a previous book, so I will go over and see if I can locate it in this one. And if I can't, then it would mean that they removed it for whatever reason, but it would be in a prior publication, because I have all of the publications from, I want to say 96, because I became a notary in 98, and I know the publication I was using was from 96 when I started. So it's just a matter of just being able to know that you can cross-reference, and it's unfortunate if they did abstract that, and hopefully they will put it back in the new publication. And so that's another thing I would definitely make sure I research, so that way I can reach out to Ozzy. He is our notary instructor. Excuse me, he is the director of the Notary Enforcement Division, that actually does the certification course for instructors. And I will be able to bring it to his attention to see if there's something that they will look into making sure is hopefully added. And if he says no, then I will try to ask why, to get more information on exactly why was it removed, when it's going to be something helpful for us to know and to be able to follow through on when we deal with these type of situations. So thank you for that. And Alyssa, I see your hands raised.
I guess that was complicated to me. I guess I didn't understand none of that.
Oh boy.
I understand about the power. I understand about the title. But I guess I'm looking at a title online now, and you said that's the MVR-191, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm looking at the MVR-191, and I see where it says the owner's name and address. So that's where the owner's name and address was, the two owners, right?
Yes.
Okay. The address was where the problem was. Is that what you were saying?
When it comes to the mail to, it was only one person's name.
Mail to.
Yeah, so you should see two addresses on that vehicle title if they have all the information on the sample. But actually, while you're doing it, let me just pull up one so you can all see.
I think I need a visual.
No problem. I got you covered.
Okay.
And for those that have not taken any of my training, my first set of documents, I go over the actual certificate of title, the section A, and the bill of sale. So that way you can actually be in a position that you can help someone that is, again, needing to sell their vehicle, because that is one of the number one requests I get every single day. Someone is selling a vehicle or someone's trying to buy one and they need a notary. And I'm just like, well, good Lord. So if you want to niche down in that market, hey man, there's work for you. Okay. It's just a matter of understanding how to properly notarize these documents, because again, when it comes to DMV, they're very, very meticulous when it comes to how they expect those forms to be completed. And so you want to make sure you're not going to mess up a situation. And then you try to encourage the customer not to do anything until they're in front of you, because some customers have this idea, oh, let me just try to make it easy for the notary, so let me fill all these things out. But if they don't know how to properly fill out something, then that's going to be a problem, because they don't want to see no errors on any of these documents when they're actually going back to the DMV. So all of that is important for you to understand. So let me share the screen of what a MVR 191 looks like. So here you are, the certificate of title. Some information has been abstracted because it's a real certificate. And when it comes to the VIN number is here, the title number is there, and on that affidavit of correction, the VIN number had to be recorded by both the notary on her document and then also the seller on his, because they're wanting to make sure it's the right vehicle that they're referencing when they actually put and file these documents together, because everything is going to be together when they actually record it. So there is a history on what all happened in the transfer. So this is the first thing you see is mail to. Mail to is just that Sarah is the one who actually requested this to be mailed to this address, because this address says owner's name and address. This is where she once lived, and this is how her name is recorded in the DMV records. All right. So MVR means motor vehicle record, and this is what is on record. So she had to call to actually have them mail her this actual her title to the new address, and this is how she had her name. She has it abbreviated, but on her driver's license, it would have matched this, because the motor vehicle record is going to be the same on your ID as it is on the title, unless you update it. And if you get married or you get divorced and names change, you are responsible for updating that information with the DMV. If you come across customers that don't do that, then you're not going to be able to move forward, because you cannot have any obvious errors, because at the very bottom it says any alterations or erasures void title. We do have where we can strike through, but sometimes striking through is not going to allow them to move forward without having some type of correction.
Okay, so Belinda, so at the top there, the front, the mail to is where she is, her new address, you said, and then the second part is what's actually on her driver's license, right? So the driver's license and this title should match in this area right here.
That is correct. And this should be also the name that she prints on the very back on section A.
Got it.
She cannot abbreviate. She needs to put the full name, and that will also hold the transfer back if that's not done correctly.
Correct. Okay, thanks.
All right. So in my class, you will actually get a copy of this. And again, here where it says name of buyer, this needs to always, always, always be completed. If this is not complete and a notary has notarized everything else, it's considered a blank title, which is illegal in North Carolina, as it should be in all states, because anybody can now put their name on it. They can avoid actually transferring the title where they're going to have to go to DMV to properly have it recorded to who actually transferred it from to the right person. I've had situations, and I'm constantly hearing this, where you have this title notarized and the seller name is there, but this is blank because some sellers like, oh, I don't know if they're going to actually pay the money, if they're going to be serious, but they're trying to get this taken care of first so they can move forward with the business at hand without having to worry about a delay if someone is actually wanting to purchase the vehicle, because they could have at least 3 or 5 inquiries and they don't know which one is going to actually come through. So they rather not have it filled in, but that's not law. Law says if you are going to actually sell your vehicle, you need to have an actual buyer's name there. So this is one of the things that there's a penalty when this is not filed in a certain time frame, and it shows it right here. Retail purchase may apply for a new title within 28 days after purchase or pay statutory penalty. Alterations or erasures will void this title. So everything's on here when it comes to expectations that DMV has for anyone who's actually purchasing this vehicle. They have 28 days to actually transfer it without penalty. Otherwise, I don't know what the penalties are because it changes with everything else, but this is one of the things that they can be facing. Yes, Alyssa.
So, with the name of the buyer, can the seller fill that out?
Yes, they can.
And then
Buyer does not have to be present.
That was my next question. Okay.
So yeah, when you're dealing with this now, if it's a vehicle that is back in, oh my goodness, what year was it? I want to say maybe 2000 and before. It may have where it's both seller and buyer has to be present because they both have to have their signature notarized. But they changed it later on where it's only acknowledgement. It used to be a direct, but now it's an acknowledgement and it's only for the signer. Now, I mean, only for the seller. Now, when it comes to how you can actually know the a year of the vehicle, you're going to always look at this part here. All right, this is 2016. It's less than 10 years old, so the actual odometer reading must be entered here. All right. If you don't have them entered here, then again, that's a problem because this should be filled out if the vehicle is 10 years or younger when it comes to the age of the vehicle. And that's how you know the age is because the year is in the very front of the title. All right. Yes, Tina.
Okay, so also to note, because you may not know this, you'll get calls where the seller has already signed it, but the title was not notarized.
Yep, that happens way too often.
The buyer that's calling you and saying, hey, I got to get this title notarized. And then, of course, when you go through your list of questions, asking them if they're the buyer, the seller, they tell you the buyer. Okay, is the seller with you? No.
Yes, and that again, that's a problem because they don't know what they don't know. However, you, the notary, have to educate them exactly what is necessary for you to move forward if they're going to get your help. All right, we got 13 more minutes to go. Is there anything else that you guys have a question about or comments? We got 2 more weeks left in this year. Have y'all prepared yourselves for 2026 on how you're going to level up on your notary expertise so that you can actually be busy next year?
Hi, Belinda. I have a question. I just came in. It was about the mail too. And I know it must match the ID and the title.
Not
That's
mail
the,
two.
I'm sorry.
Only the owner information. The mail two is different.
Oh, okay. So that's what I had wrong because Okay, so the owner, so on the mail to section, could you
Mhm.
repeat that? That should be,
The mail to is only where the title was mailed to. When it comes to the second portion, which says owner's name and address, that is the place that we have to recognize when it comes to how they properly need to fill out the back when it comes to the seller themselves.
okay, and that information must match the ID and the address on the ID?
Yes. With the address, no, it's more of the name. So usually what DMV has, again, everything's going to cross-reference everything together because that's where all the records are. So if there's anything that's changed with one thing for a person at the DMV level, it should update all records. Okay. So this here that you're seeing is the name that was on the title when she initially got the title or the vehicle. Now, she could have had where she lost the title and she asked for a new one. But this is, again, not what you pay attention to when it comes to the mail to for what needs to be documented on the back of this document. You want to make sure this part here is what they write in the space on the back. Now, if you personally
Okay.
know them, it makes it so much easier. But if you have no idea who these people are and you only can go by what their identification says, then you got to make sure all of this is actually adding up. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Alyssa.
Okay.
Okay, so I know, if I'm not mistaken, you may have said it in class on Saturday, but I actually have two questions. You said that you can maybe split up these classes like this. Like, do you have just a specific class on titles? Like, I don't have to clump it in with anything. It's just one specific class about titles.
I have a pre-recorded class that you can pay for on Gumroad for just this. Yes.
Gumroad?
Gumroad.com. I'll get the
Okay.
website for you.
Okay, because that sounds like some made up kind of stuff.
No, it's actually a company that helps individuals actually sell products digital on their platform, similar to a lot of other things like Stand Store. This was out before Stand Store ever came, so it's similar to a Stand Store that you may be more familiar with.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I'd like to hear that. Okay.
And if you go on my website, it's all there too. So going to the site, you're going to be able to see everything that you want to get access to.
Okay. Okay, I had another question that slipped my mind. I guess I'll think of it here shortly. Okay.
No problem. All right, so if you go on the site, you'll be able to see exactly what Alyssa was asking about. That's a section for those independent course opportunities that you can actually get, and it's self-taught, or I should say, I'm going over the information, and you have access to exactly what it covers. I have live in-person classes, and then I also have live online classes. So in the year 2026, I already have the entire schedule laid out. Everything's in place. All you have to do is just go to the site and just kind of review so you can have a little bit more familiarity with all that I have the ability to assist you with. Beyond the training classes, I do coaching. So if you understand how to notarize all the different documents, but now you're just having some trouble and challenges with marketing, really get your business on the foundational level built to actually generate income, because marketing is usually, again, it's a huge thing when it comes to how your business can grow. But if you don't know how to properly position yourself, you're going to find yourself being frustrated because you don't know what you don't know. And I make it so it can be affordable. You have payment plans, opportunities as well, because the goal is for you to not feel stuck when it comes to you have the ability to actually grow when you have the right person to help you along the way. And so my goal is to always make sure that you have the resources, because I've done I teach from what I know and from what I've experienced personally. Again, my experiences from 1998 up until now when it comes to everything that I've been a part of. And so this is why I
Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
had to do my earbuds because one went out. So let me share this for you guys so you can actually take this down. Because again, 2026 can be explosive when it comes to what your abilities are. And if anyone who's taken my training that would like to share with the group what they can expect, anyone who's taken my coaching that can share with the group what they can expect, please do share. So again, it's not just me being able to, what I've been able to do. I have notaries that can actually vouch for their experiences under my tutelage, so to speak. I had someone to call me a notary sensei, and I was just like, "What?" She was so cute with it, but I appreciate the compliment because again, it goes a long way.
Yes, I've attended classes with the Belinda courses, and you're really going to get a comprehensive look and real time um, experience. I like it when she couples people up and we have to take turns as far as who's the notary, who's the client. And that tends to be a lot of fun, and it's a good learning practice. And so she gives you the examples of all the documents that you will come across. We tend to go through maybe 4 or 5 different types of documents, and we have examples, so it's pretty good.
Thank you, Charlene. Camille.
Hey, Charlene. We've actually been classmates a couple of times. I've
Oh, yes,
taken
that's right. Hi.
I've taken quite a few of Belinda's classes, and yes, I can concur with what Charlene says. Very, very to the point, very specific, very detailed, very by the book, but not boring. And you're going to leave her classes well prepared with the teaching, the example, the practice, and a lovely photo at the end.
Thank you for that, Camille. Yes, Monica.
I've taken several of Belinda classes. I've taken all of Belinda classes, online, offline. You cannot miss out with the dynamics that she uses to get you to understand the work. The quality of this workshops and the different things that she does to get you to understand them are really phenomenal. She brings it to your level. She answers all of your questions in more than one way. Just, have your notes, have your questions, just be ready to engage because you have to, be hands-on in order to, get a comprehensive understanding. If you don't understand, just be present because once you're there, it's going to be a lot and it's really, really, really great. You won't miss out on anything. And I like it because she always is willing to go back over. She always has a follow-up email to detail of what she has already taught you. You can always email her back again if you still don't understand. And if you need to even call her, she's right there for you. So I really have gained a lot of running footage with Belinda. I am now in my 3rd year and I have accomplished so much since I've found Belinda online as a notary. My first year here in North Carolina, I became a notary and I wanted to do more. And once I found Belinda online on YouTube, it was up from there. So I really had a great experience, and it's really been great. And I look forward to even more.
Thank you, Monica. Sequella, and then Michelle.
You got the chicken from yesterday? He never took it
Hey,
out?
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Sequella.
Oh, okay. Hey, now I just wanted to say I just want to thank Belinda for all the information um since I've been um taking her classes and also doing these meetings. When I became a notary in 2010, I just thought, well, hey, you're just notarizing this, notarizing that, and just documents. But I did not realize that it's a whole lot more to it than just your signature. So I have learned a lot. I really have, and I appreciate it, Belinda. And I just want to say thank you.
You're so welcome.
Hey,
Angela.
hey, everyone. It's Michelle. I have been with Belinda or working with Belinda for over a year now. I met her at a couple of conferences. I think the major conference, that the e-notary conference, I met her there. And I've taken a ton of courses with her, more notably the coach, the one-on-one coaching, which was phenomenal in that I learned so much just listening to her, engaging with her. We became fast friends. I've been off the radar for a little bit. I've had a lot of other things going on. I haven't been able to attend the classes on Tuesday. But coming back tonight is just like coming home. And it makes me realize, how much I miss and how much you really have to always be learning. You have to keep your head in the game in order to learn things that are changing. Like Tina said, she's been a notary for a long time. She made a mistake. She looked it up in the book. It wasn't there. But we have a walking encyclopedia in Belinda. We can always call her, and even if it's not in that book, she'll know because she's been doing it for a long time. And the information that she imparts to us, she does it in layman's terms. It's not over our head where we can't understand it, because some of these concepts are difficult and it may take you a couple of times to hear it over and over again before you get it. I would encourage you to take her classes. You have the forms. I still have the forms. I carry them around with me in my briefcase. That you can always refer to, um, because there are times when we have to notarize things that there is verbiage that has to be placed on that particular document that you're notarizing. Otherwise, it'll be no good. And if you don't take her classes, you won't have that particular very concise verbiage that you need to put down. So I would encourage you to take her classes. Any classes you can take, please take it. You will always have the ability to go back and review your notes because they are recorded. Take really, really good notes. And she's always there. If you can't reach her verbally by phone, you can always shoot her a text, and she'll get back to you. So it's been a wonderful experience, a great experience, a great learning experience. And I would encourage everyone listening to definitely tune in on Tuesdays and to take her classes, because she's been a jewel, and I couldn't have done any of this without her.
Oh, thank you, Michelle. You're gonna make me cry. And welcome back, sis.
Thank you.
And
Happy
Angela, I
holidays to
see you.
everyone also.
Happy holidays.
Happy
Yes.
holidays.
Oh, one other thing I need to insert. So I have law enforcement background. There is a law enforcement day. It's on January 9th, and we have a whole police week
Okay.
in
So yes,
DC, National Police Week
in
in May.
May,
Yes.
January 9th. Okay. I'm glad you let me know that because I was like, that's odd, but great.
Right. Then we have the National Police Week. It's in May. It's actually the same week as your it's the whole entire week, but it encompasses your
The conference.
yes, yes, yes. But that's fine.
Okay.
I'll be at the conference instead.
Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. We get to hang out hopefully a little bit.
Yes.
All right, Angela, you're up next.
Sorry, I was very distracted there for a little bit. And I'll preface it by this. I have several businesses going on right now, and I am in Belinda's coaching class, so I'm not at all trying to detract from her ability to help us with notary, because she's a wealth of knowledge and information. But she's also very good at coaching as far as business goes. The whole marketing, social media, and everything. I literally just had to reinstitute my Google Voice phone number because I guess it had expired or lapsed or whatever. But because we've been talking about that in my coaching sessions with her, somebody made a comment that you talk in layman's terms, Belinda, and you do, but you also keep it very real to life. You're not just talking textbook material. You're talking about what you experience when you get places, people dynamics. So it's not just about the documents themselves. It's about how to carry yourself, being a business owner, taking ownership that you are the owner of your business and operating as the public official that you are. So personally, I recommend the class too, for those reasons and more. So I just wanted to add that in, and I appreciate all you do for us.
Thank you, Angela. The coaching sessions are definitely rewarding for me because I have more of an intimate time with you on a one-on-one basis. Many times when we're in settings like this, you may be hesitant to actually be very vulnerable and transparent. And so my goal is for you to remove all of those barriers, so you can actually be very clear with me, so I can actually help you as best as I can. I meet you where you are, so you don't have to feel like you have to be in a certain position before you actually reach out. No, it's all about me actually having an idea where you are, what you're struggling with, and what your goals are, and for me to create a roadmap that you can follow that is just very clear without you feeling like you're scattered and all over the place. I've seen way too many notaries just give up in frustration because they have been paying out money that they have not been able to see a return on their investment, and they're putting it in the wrong places. So again, I'm here commissioned in North Carolina. I'm not in Tennessee. I'm not in Texas, California, New York, none of these other states. You have these trainers and coaches that are trying to get everybody all over the place, but it's like, where are you commissioned at? So my goal is to always make sure you're getting exactly what you should have for North Carolina always first. We can always learn from other notaries in other states, yes. But again, if they don't know your laws here, how are they going to really help you when it comes to certain things that if you don't know, how they're going to know? So my goal is to make sure you know exactly where to find it and be able to, again, find ways that you can keep a note so you can refer back to it when you have to. Yes, Monica, and then Miss Vicky.
I wanted to say that if you guys go to her website, there is something free on her website that I use all the time. I go back, if I have my bag down here with me, I will show you. It has notes in it because I go back and what I do is I go and make adjustments for myself in her free workbook. It says top 10 notary obstacles, and that's a free workbook she has on her website. I downloaded it and I clamped it together and I go back and I use it. And I also created my own suggestions out of it when I wanted to up my business. I started putting candy bags together. That's how I started going online and making different sayings because there's different blogs that you could do. So out of her 10 obstacles, I learned to do a lot of different things on my own that I took from her book. So please also just check out her website and look at it and get that free workbook that she has. It's worth it.
Thank you, Monica. And I know I got a few of you that have already secured your classes for next year. Again, we're going to have a ball because we got so much to look forward to. And again, you have to invest in yourself. My motto is always be learning because we should always be an avid lifetime learner because this is how we grow. This is how we are able to create opportunities for ourselves. There's enough for every single one of you here and in the actual notary community to actually thrive. You just want to make sure you're connecting yourselves with the right people. Okay. Miss Vicky.
I've taken all of the classes with Belinda for all 16 documents, and it came in very handy tonight. I'm sitting here at the public library. I came as an attendee for a class on advanced health directives, and the person that was doing the presenting didn't show up. So yours truly talked for about 30 minutes about the healthcare power of attorney, the living will, et cetera, et cetera. So I've had the background from that class that I was able to use. So I'm basically,
Wonderful.
I didn't have any notes to put together, so I was basically winging it for about 30 minutes somehow and answered a few questions. And I need to look up the difference between a springing power of attorney and a durable power of attorney, because I know they are very different. And I picked up a book that I'm going to read of, let's see if I can get it hit here. In case you get hit by a bus.
Oh, God,
I'm going to put a sticky in there and say, or Hurricane Helene.
Right,
Because that comes, or in a plane crash that you weren't expecting, because I think everyone from the age of 18 on up needs a healthcare power of attorney, especially college students. So yeah, they got my sermon tonight, but yeah, thanks to having heard all that in the class, I was able to at least do something.
And so
now, hopefully the class will actually be scheduled again when the actual real teacher shows up. They did have the links to the Secretary of State's website. I was very scared when someone was posting links to all kinds of healthcare power of attorneys that were not the North Carolina ones, so I have no idea if they were even valid or not.
And so, as Ms. Vicky have shared with you guys, she's at the local public library. That is a place that you all can actually earn opportunities by being present, creating a opportunity that you can actually do free notarizations. You can offer 2 hours for maybe once a month or more often, and to set a date and time. And they will actually put that on their calendar. In most of the libraries I know here in Charlotte, they actually do make sure the public knows what is there that's going to benefit them. And so you building your reputation, you're going to create opportunities for yourself. And again, congratulations to you, Miss Vicky, because again, you have come a long way since I've known you, and you always seemed that you was already so um more years within a notary just because of your well-versed knowledge. And it really was very impressive. And again, just knowing that you can be at any position and you can still work as a notary and help the people and serve them in this capacity. And it's a blessing when it comes to you being able to be thorough and taking care of helping to take care of their affairs. Yes, Miss Vicky.
A different way of getting an advertisement, the local DMV tag office that's near me closed and moved to a new location about 2 blocks away. And they reopened last week, so I put a little post on Nextdoor, here's the new address for the DMV office. And by the way, they only accept cash for the notary work. I'm a mobile notary who lives close by. Hint, hint. Please call me, and I got a client.
Again, marketing is something that I really do love. And so I've got to go ahead and start closing the room now because I have the digital marketing mastery class that starts at 8 o'clock that I teach. Entrepreneurs, notaries are included in that. But this is, we have 2 more weeks ahead of us. And again, it's been a great opportunity to help notaries know how to get their Google business profile place, how to actually get their business pages for all of the social medias up to make sure they're getting their branding, their logo. So all of these things is going to help you go further along your journey for the visibility. It's wonderful if you know how to actually do your job as a notary. It can be a downer when you don't know how to actually get the people to know that you even exist. So I show you ways that work and that is affordable and free. It's just your time that you really do have to put a lot of time for you to actually work on this so that you can build upon it. So tonight we're going to go over content planning. So this is going to help them be ready for the 2026. I will be offering more of those classes next year. My background with the business training is that as a business owner and have been for over a decade and a half, I've been able to assist so many businesses along the way to actually get their foundation together when it comes to their business plan to actually take off. And I have also worked for the community college teaching the small business classes. I am very, I'm in the process of getting Google certified. So I teach a lot about Google applications because they can help your business thrive. Google Workspace, all of those features that it has can help your business grow tremendously. All right. And Canva is the graphics. So Canva coupled with Google is great. And I try to make sure I help people understand what you already have, again, at your fingertips to be successful. So I look forward to working with any of you throughout the years because, again, I'm always a mentor first as a notary public. And my goal is to, again, help you where you're at. If you have any questions, you know how to reach me in the group. My information is there on my site. Everything is there. So I look forward to seeing you guys next Tuesday, which is going to be the last Tuesday Notary Tune-Up for the year. We'll be on vacation the last week of the month. So I will like to finish off next week to hear exactly what are your goals and what have you put down as your plan to action to meet those goals for your notary journey in 2026. So that is what we're going to be looking forward to talking about next week. I can't wait to actually see you guys and hear exactly what you got going on. So I hope you have a wonderful Tuesday night. And if I don't see you next week, happy holidays to all of you.
Thank you, Belinda. Happy holidays,
You're
everyone.
welcome.
Thanks, Belinda.
Merry
Good night.
Christmas.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas, everyone.